Hi, Crystal Sabrina here, and welcome to a special series of Meditate on It, where we'll be doing a Bible study on the 25 miracles of Jesus in chronological order. Now, the first miracle is the one where Jesus turns water into wine at a wedding in Cana, and this is in John chapter 2, verses 1 to 11. So I have my notes ready here, and I do have them in bullet point form, but I hope when I share it, it won't come across so disjointed, but rather it will have a nice flow or nice cadence of revelation to it. But yes, let's dive right in. The first thing I noted from this miracle was that it was Jesus' first miracle, and it was at a marriage. It was at a wedding celebration, which is supposed to be indicative of joining. It's supposed to be indicative of an act of love and a union. So really, it was this prophetic declaration of the purpose of Jesus coming upon the earth, of the Word being made flesh. It was so that Jesus would always become our bridegroom, that he would be covenanted to us in a way that would bring his believers to redemption, that we would receive redemption. So please note that this first miracle was all about union. Jesus was always intending to be tied to us or be in union with us. So it is a prophetic declaration. Now the second thing is, this miracle came about due to the request or the revelation of Mary. Let's examine the fact that Mary is the person that approached Jesus to inform him that they had run out of wine. Why are we going to examine that? Because Mary is a female. She is a woman. Jesus came to redeem his bride. So what Mary really was symbolizing here was the bride of Christ. Her femininity was really symbolizing the bride of Christ. Whenever the Lord speaks about his church and having died for his church, he refers to the church in the feminine. The fact that Mary came to inform Jesus of this lack, of this limitation, of this need that needed to be addressed, this problem that needed to be solved, it was really representative of the fact that Jesus is the only problem solver, the only resolute protector and shield and covering for the bride of Christ. He was always supposed to be like a bridegroom, a husbandman to the church. And the church is in need. The church has shortcomings. The church needs to be covenanted to a Savior. The Savior in the person of Jesus Christ. Now, I want to further go on to highlight a lot of parallels with the turning of the water into wine, and that this took place at a marriage, and that Jesus was basically, or Yahweh was basically telling us through Jesus' first miracle that what Jesus was about to do on the cross for us was very similar to that of a marriage covenant. Now, when a husband and a wife consummate their marriage, we know that the female's hymen breaks, is torn, and blood is shed. That is what signifies the blood covenant that is entered into in the marriage bed. So, interestingly enough, all that transpires biologically during that act of consummation mirrors that whole miracle of turning water into wine. And the fact that when Jesus died upon the cross, cementing that covenant, that blood covenant, and being in union with us, redeeming us completely and wholly, again, we are seeing the parallels of water being turned to wine. It's sort of like an alpha and omega type thing. A complete statement, a statement of completion. Jesus said on the cross, it is done, it is finished, when he gave up his spirit. At this wedding, water was turned to wine at that marriage union. And on the cross, Jesus' marriage union to us we saw that his own body shed what? Blood, until there was no more blood to shed and water started to pour out. You see that mirroring effect of that red outpouring. First, at this wedding, we had water to wine, and then at the marriage of the Christ to his church, to his bride, we are seeing blood to water. So it's just signifying from the beginning to the end, and from the end to back, completely holy. We have been redeemed by the blood covenant of Jesus. We are in a full-on covenant, marriage covenant, blood covenant, with the person of Jesus. Now, another point to note about this marriage union. Yes, I'm still there at the wedding celebration. At this wedding celebration, there are going to be a lot of guests. There are a lot of attendees that's there. And we know when Jesus died, he didn't just die for the Jews. He also died for the Gentiles. He died for anyone, really, that would believe in him and believe that he is the Savior and that they can be redeemed only through Jesus and the finished work of the cross. So, at this wedding, when the water would have been turned to wine, we know that all of the guests, the wedding guests, and the attendees would have drank from this wine. Likewise, this was like a prophetic declaration or prophetic invitation that all those who believe in Jesus would be able to drink of the wine of his Spirit when he died on the cross.